Hello and welcome to my channel War Chronicle. Thank you so much for joining me today. In this video, we will discuss 4 important decisions taken by Yahya Khan during the year 1971 and evaluate them. Decision No. 1. Declare martial law and overthrow the government of Zulfikar Ali Bhutto. Was it a strategic error? No, most probably not. Yahya was the chief marshal of Pakistan when the country descended into civil war in March of 1971. On March, he overthrew the government of Zulfikar Ali Bhutto, the first democratically elected Prime Minister of Pakistan, who was himself a controversial figure and had a complicated relationship with the military establishment. Yahya Khan became the president of Pakistan after the coup, and remained so until his resignation in December. So from March to December 1971, Yahya Khan made a number of key decisions that determined not only the fate of Pakistan, but also led to the creation of Bangladesh. So what were these decisions, and were they strategic errors, or was their fall inevitable? Let us know in the comments. Yahya Khan overthrew the government of Zulfikar Ali Bhutto in March 1971 because of a number of reasons. Bhutto had increasingly come into conflict with the military establishment. This was due to a variety of issues, including Bhutto's nationalization of industries without consulting the military, his failure to improve the living standards of the people, and his unwillingness to give the army a larger role in politics. Yahya Khan also enjoyed considerable support within Pakistan, particularly from the influential landowners and religious leaders. The military itself was also unhappy with the government's policies, and was concerned about its own role in society. Bhutto had tried to reduce the size of the army and had also placed some restrictions on its activities. This had caused resentment within the ranks, and many officers supported the coup. Ultimately, however, the decision to overthrow the government was a personal one taken by Yahya Khan. He was a strong believer in military intervention in politics, and saw himself as the savior of Pakistan. Decision number 2. Failure to reach out to India and find a peaceful resolution to the conflict. Was it a strategic error? Yes, most probably it was. From the outset, Yahya Khan's regime pursued a hard line against India. This was despite the fact that war with India was neither in Pakistan's nor Yahya Khan's best interest. Pakistan was already on the brink of collapse, and a war with India would only hasten its demise. Yahya Khan's attitude towards India was shaped by a number of factors. First, he was a soldier by training and believed that military solutions were possible for all problems. Second, he was influenced by the advice of his military commanders who were eager to go to war. And third, he was also influenced by public opinion in Pakistan, which was hostile towards India. Despite all this, however, a negotiated settlement with India was still possible, but Yahya Khan never seriously pursued this option. Instead, he continued to make warlike statements and took a number of steps that escalated tensions with India. For example, he refused to withdraw Pakistani troops from the Siachen Glacier, even though this was a non-strategic area. He also refused to hold talks with Indian officials unless they were about Kashmir, and he even launched a propaganda campaign aimed at internationalizing the Kashmir issue. All of this contributed to the eventual outbreak of war. If only Yahya Khan had been willing to negotiate, it is possible that Pakistan and Bangladesh could have peacefully split up. However, his decision to escalate tensions with India ultimately led to war. Next, Yahya Khan's decision to start the war on 2 fronts simultaneously. Strategic error. Definitely. It was a double jeopardy for the Pakistani forces. The war with India began in the sub-Himalayan region of Kashmir in early 1971. This was followed by the launch of the Pakistani offensive on the Western Front on December. This proved to be a fatal mistake. Had the Pakistani leadership chosen to concentrate all their resources on one front, they might have stood a better chance of success. But by opening up a second front, they stretched their forces too thin and ultimately lost both. The main reason for this was the lack of proper planning and preparation. The Pakistani military was in no shape to fight a war on 2 fronts. They lacked the necessary supplies, equipment, and trained personnel. In addition, the political leadership was in disarray. There was no clear strategy or direction, and each side was fighting its own little war. As a result, the Pakistani forces were defeated in both theaters of war. In the east, they were pushed back across the Ganges by the joint forces of India and Bangladesh. And in the west, they were forced to retreat to their original positions. Overall, the decision to fight on 2 fronts was a catastrophic mistake that contributed to Pakistan's defeat. And finally, the last decision we will be discussing in this episode is Yahya Khan's decision to resign in disgrace in December 1971. Was it a strategic error? No, definitely not. By December 1971, the situation in Pakistan had become untenable. The army was on the verge of collapse, and the country was on the verge of disintegration. Yahya Khan knew that he could not continue to hold on to power. The question was, how should he exit? One option would have been to fight to the very end and go down in history as a martyr. However, this would have been a Pyrrhic victory at best. Pakistan would still have broken up and Yahya Khan would have been seen as a national traitor. The second option was to resign and accept the new reality. This meant giving up power and accepting the creation of Bangladesh. In hindsight, this was the best option for Yahya Khan. By resigning, he was able to save himself and his family from certain punishment. He also gave the new leadership a chance to govern in peace. Of course, this did not stop him from being tried for treason and handed down a life sentence. But it could have been much worse had he fought to the end. Overall, Yahya Khan's decision to resign was the right one, although it was undoubtedly a bitter pill to swallow. So there you have it, a summary of Yahya Khan's decisions during 1971 and an assessment of whether they were strategic errors or inevitable falls. Do you agree with my assessment? Let me know in the comments. Pakistan was formed on August 14, 1947, and was soon engaged in 3 wars with its neighbor India. Although it won the first war in 1948, Pakistan lost the next 2 wars in 1965 and 1971. Both defeats resulted in significant territorial losses for Pakistan. The country's internal divisions along linguistic, ethnic, and religious lines were exposed during these conflicts. These setbacks had a profound impact on Pakistan's national identity and its relations with its neighbors. Bangladesh was formed on March 26, 1971, after the Pakistan Army's crackdown on the Bengali population in what was then East Pakistan. Led by Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, the Bengalis fought for their independence from West Pakistani rule. With the help of India, Bangladesh won its war of independence and was established as a sovereign nation. The creation of Bangladesh marked a significant shift in the geopolitical landscape of South Asia. Let us know in the comments what you think about Yahya Khan's decisions, which of them were mistakes and which were unavoidable. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and share it with your friends. Subscribe to my channel, War Chronicle. I would love to have you here. And do not forget to subscribe to my channel. See you next time. Until then, stay safe.